So today I thought I would do a thing where I would talk over all of the things I read in March and April. Usually I just do my favorites or my tops or my 5 stars. Today I thought I would just talk over everything. I read The Outsider by H.P. Lovecraft, which is in my classic American short stories, what's it called? Anthology. I've never read H.P. Lovecraft before. It gave me serious Frankenstein vibes, The Outsider, that is. And that was both a good thing, but also kind of felt like he was ripping her off. Like, if you haven't read Frankenstein and you want the feeling of Frankenstein, you should read The Outsider first. And then you can go read other things. I guess we'll see if I read more H.P. Lovecraft. I then read Dragon's Milk by Susan Fletcher, this is a library edition. I did not like this book. I have a whole review, I think, on Goodreads about why I did not like this book. Honestly, I felt two things. Firstly, I felt like I would have liked it if I was younger. If I was like 10 or 12, I would have loved this book. But at the same time, I feel like there's too much gruesome stuff in this book to actually be good for a 12-year-old. I mean, it depends on the 12-year-old, really. But no, I didn't like this one. It was disappointing. Other book I read, now I'm going into the book I actually liked. Yay! I read Sleeping Murder by Agatha Christie. I finished reading this book. I enjoyed it. I guessed who the murderer was, which I don't usually do with Agatha Christie. It's also a Miss Marple, and I don't usually like Miss Marple books. It was fine, though. I enjoyed it. I would recommend it if you really like Agatha Christie, or if you want to read more mysteries or whatever. It was fine. Betsy-Tacy Go Downtown by Margaret Lovelace. I really like this book. I feel like other people might not enjoy it as much. There is a segment that's about blackface, which is awkward. Yeah. Let's just stop there. Then I read The Prince and the Pauper by Mark Twain. So my TBR video should already be out for this, where I talk about my feelings about this. And yeah, but I read The Prince and the Pauper, which was fun. Then I did a reread. I read The Drackenberg Adventure by Lloyd Alexander. I always do that when it's Lloyd Alexander because he's my favorite author of all time, okay? Like, just, he is. Okay. Drackenberg Adventure is a Vesper Holly book. So in this one, Vesper Holly is actually hitching a ride along with Mary and Brittany, who have been invited to Drackenberg to witness the Silver Jubilee or whatever of their leader, who's a duchess, I think. They go to Drackenberg and they're like, let's go sightsee. And of course, their main nemesis shows up and causes havoc. And this one, I think, might be my favorite of the first three, because this one has exploding sausages, there's a kidnapping, there's gypsies, there's also a painting in this book, there's paintings and Leonardo da Vinci, and secret castles, I guess not really secret castles, there's evil spa people, I don't know, it's great. Drackenberg is probably my favorite of the books I read in the past 2 months. Because, it's Lloyd Alexander. Go read Lloyd Alexander now. Okay, thanks, bye. The Princetta by Anne-Laure Bondoux. As you may remember, this book and Betsy-Tacy Go Downtown were in my top 5 TBR of 2020. I wanted to get to this one and other books, the video's linked somewhere, this year. And I have been really excited about this book. I bought it about 5 years ago, and I hadn't read it yet. I read this. I really liked the first half of it. Like, so stinking much. This is such my jam. This is so much my thing. I love this book so much. But the ending was really disappointing in a, deal breaker kind of way, even though the first half of it was really good. So let me tell you what this book is about. This book is about Malva, this person. She runs away from her home because she's about to marry a dude she doesn't want to marry. It's cliche. After she runs away, she gets in a shipwreck and finds out about this island called Egolia. So she decides that that is the place she most needs to go in her life, and that is where she is destined to belong. And so she is going on this quest, and she gets kidnapped. She gets all these terrible things happen to her and stuff as she goes on this quest. And I really enjoy that book part of it. The other part of this is then Orpheus is a wannabe sea captain dude, and he finds out that her father is sending out people to go hunt her down and bring her back. He's going out to go find her, and it's also about him as he is trying to prove his own father wrong. So, like, I get it. I get why people don't like this book. I get why you would give it 2 stars. And I think this book is kind of a hit or miss for people, where they either really like it or they really don't like it. So it's kind of hard to recommend and be like, hey, you're going to love this book, because, I don't know, you might hate it. Especially the ending is terrible. But I just like it, okay? I just do. And I liked Malva, and I liked her quest. And I even liked Orpheus, even though he was kind of a dork at points. I liked a lot of the side characters and their quests, because each character kind of has like their own quest. And I wish this was a series and I could read all about Malva and Orpheus's little quests and big quests and them going to different islands and seeing different things. And I wish. But alas, nope. The last book I'm going to talk about is Making Money by Terry Pratchett, which is the 3rd Terry Pratchett book I've read. I've read The Color of Magic, Going Postal, and now Making Money. And I really love Discworld. Okay, it's great. It's great. Okay, bye. Making Money is about this dude. It's a sequel to Going Postal, which is about Moist von Lipwig, who is a con artist, and he is going to the dark side by being a con artist. And then he gets put on death row, and then is told that the only way he cannot die is if he runs the post office. That's Going Postal. This one is the sequel, where basically similar things happen, but instead of running the post office, he's running the National Bank of Ankh-Morpork. I've never said that out before. What? I have issues with second books in series, because they always feel like filler. They always feel like they're either repeating the first book, and they also sometimes feel like they're just trying so hard to get to the next book. And that kind of feels like this book to me. There are parts that I really liked. There's a lot of parts that I was confused by. I felt like this one was a little bit more rambly, incoherent at times. I still really liked it, of course. Don't get me wrong. Go read Discworld. They're great. Also, Adora Bell is not in this enough. That's her name, is Adora Bell. I liked Veterinary. I loved the bad guy in this book. He was fun. Yeah, go read Going Postal, because I liked Going Postal way more. I have Raising Steam somewhere. We'll probably read that at some point too. Oh crap, I forgot to talk about Summer Lightning. I also read Summer Lightning by P.G. Wodehouse, which is a P.G. Wodehouse book. I listened to an audiobook of it. P.G. Wodehouse is one of the best writers I have ever read. Everything he writes is so good. And I kind of feel like I listened to an audiobook, and I think in the future I'm not going to do audiobooks for P.G. Wodehouse, because his writing itself is so nice, and sometimes I just want to sit and reread sentences of his, which you can't do with an audiobook. And sometimes I feel like audiobook narrators don't get the joke, and so they skim over it and don't say it the way it's supposed to be read. But yeah, Summer Lightning was also really good. It is one of the Blandings Castle books, which is a series, and it's about a castle called Blandings and Lord Emsworth, who is this aristocratic dude who only really cares about gardening and his pig, and doesn't care about being noble or whatever, or a lord, and doesn't care about his responsibilities, like his sister, always, who is kind of the main villain, goes around and is forcing him to do these things that he does not want to do. And it's great. Summer Lightning was the best written. Drackenberg was my favorite. Princetta was my new favorite. It was like the new book of my favorites. And then I hated Dragon's Milk. Hated is a strong word. I gave it 2 stars. It was okay. Not good enough to recommend. Off of my own physical TBR, I read Princetta, Prince and the Pauper, Betsy and Tacy, Go Downtown, and Sleeping Murder. These were all books I already owned and hadn't read. So 4 out of the last 2 months, usually I read more than this, I am getting rid of Sleeping Murder. I'm giving it away. Oops. And I read 3 library books out of the 8 books. So, yeah. So that is what I read in March and April. What did you read? What was your favorite book? Have you read any of these books? I'm just going to bombard you with questions right now. Okay. Have a lovely afternoon. Go read something good. Bye. And tell me if you've read any Lloyd Alexander, because he is my favorite author of all time and you should be reading his books, okay? Okay. Got a deal yet? This is my life goal, is to get more people to read Lloyd Alexander. I love Lloyd Alexander's books. I find them so nice and wonderful, and everyone should read them.